Hello. Welcome to the studio. I am Karen McCoy. Let's start out. Well, we could start out face to face. I just finished with a live, so I'm going to let some of the people that were on that live, which was about hanging out with the dogs with the righties, and I was on a walk. So I decided to, because I was coming in the studio anyway, and y'all know me, if I'm going to be in the studio, might as well just pop on here and share whatever I'm doing. But yesterday I learned something. Well, I didn't learn something. Let me put it this way. I went deeper. That's what I did. I went deeper. Um, because uh, let's see. Let's give it a minute. Let's give it a minute. And because, once the notification goes out that I'm live, that new notification. Oh, okay. I was going to say, did it not change? Let's put on our do not disturb so we're not disturbed by anyone. Although there are some people that can still get through. But it's Friday. I'm happy to be alive. It's another week of life. My birthday was Monday. I was happy about that. Yeah. I've ordered me some new watercolors for my birthday. And what else? All right, let's get all that closed out. I like to have stuff closed out so that way I don't have to worry about a whole bunch of stuff on my desk, on my desktop, because this is my desktop where I get to chat with you guys, and then we go over to desk time. So it's two different things. But we're going to be talking about granulating watercolors. And granulating, so the granulation, I've learned yesterday, I will say, I figured out from listening to someone talk about the granulation in watercolors, meaning the two, that the granulations, how can I say? You can see it depending on the kind of paper that you have. So for those that are joining me here on in the studio today, today is not the conversation that I have on Mondays and Wednesdays. Today is more crafting. It's more crafting. And I like to kind of put that in the description. So if you have any questions about anything that I am going, or you have heard or on my channel and you want to maybe ask a question or whatever, you can still do that. But for me, I'm just talking about watercolors and hanging out in the studio with whatever comes across my desk. So granulating watercolors, mostly I did learn yesterday, was more so that the roses and the pinks and things, they're kind of not, because it's kind of hard to put two. So the pigments, are naturally they get together, and then when you put them on paper you can see the two and they kind of separate, and it works better. This is the part where I learned yesterday. It works better the rougher the paper, the more you get to see the enhancement of the granulation as the pigment settles into the paper's grooves. And I thought that was amazing. So I did something with my yesterday in my book because I'll get it because I wanted to see. But granulation, we all know, well, if you don't know, it refers to the naturally created texture, the graininess in your watercolors, and the more pigment you put on, the more the granulation you can see. And it's a grainy effect on paper due to the way the pigment kind of settles on it. And so you'll get to see that basically on two types of paper that I use. Well, three. Yeah, I had to look over there and see what it was. So it was fun yesterday hanging out with doing that. But the enhancement of it, the less smooth it is, which was more so the paper. Yeah. And you add more water to allow pigments to separate more. It was fun. So layer washes to build the texture. So let's see. Okay. Hi, Bernadette. I just did another live and I got off because I was coming in the studio. So I was giving people time to leave that one and kind of hang out if they wanted to come over here. And if not, then you're here and I'm grateful. And Team Replay, if crafting is your thing, slapping paint on paper is your thing, and whatever I choose to do as far as artsy stuff in the studio, that's what I'm going to be doing here today on this Friday's live. Normally Mondays and Wednesdays we're having conversation, and this time going into March, it just happens to be that we're talking about vulnerability and being very transparent so that you can be your authentic self. All three of those go together. So that's Mondays and Wednesdays. And if you should happen to have a question or comment about any of those, from maybe if you watched the video from Monday and Wednesday, leave me a question on that video so that way I can keep those things in line. But if you do have a question, you happen to be on here on live right now, no worries, just ask the question and we'll get into it. Okay, I'm going to scroll on over and flip on over here to the desk because granulation. That's what, and let me get the other thing. So we're going to share these things and let you check these things out. And I have Daniel Smith, our good granulation watercolors. I have some Holbeins on the way and do. Oh, it is granulating, not the other one. It's granulating, the granulating watercolors. Super excited, and y'all know when I get them, we will definitely be doing a tutorial or a walkthrough, or unpacking, a walk to the mailbox. We'll do it all. We'll do it all. Okay. Don't mind this one. This one was done with Ferris Press ink, literally. So that's over there. That's not granulation. But this one right here, when you think about granulation, I put it this way. I haven't paid attention to all the things. Y'all know me. I'm over here. I'm just having fun with art. I'm just having fun slapping paint on paper. I'm not trying to learn a whole bunch of stuff that will make me pause or paralyze me in the process. I don't want to do it. Be like, oh, am I doing this or am I doing that? I don't want to do that. But when I do know how to do something, I don't mind backing into the learning process. I'm not a person that went to school for art. I'm not. However, would I want to? No. No. I'm just going to still say no. I am learning. I'm happy learning about art the way I'm learning about it in enough increments to where I don't have to rush through it semester by, you got to know this by the end of the semester or this by the end of the quarter. I get to learn it on my own terms. Okay. So that is one of the things that has been making me feel a whole lot better. Now, paper is my jam. Paper. Watercolor paper. I'm learning this stuff as I go. I'm learning why I like watercolors, why I like a certain brand, or why I like I can go right here. These are DRs, the Dollar Rowney. They're I'm not going to say they're not on the inexpensive side, but they're not on the expensive side. As opposed to some other ones that I got are some Master's Touch, which are these. Yeah, these are Master's Touch. I had to put the name in there because I was like, wait, what? But I did these because when I have guests in the studio here in person, then I wanted them, to have some paints to use. And y'all know we keep the good stuff out of the way. But when you're just starting, Master's Touch is great to start. It was great for me to start. I started with Master's Touch. I like Master's Touch actually. Compared to Daniel Smith, these are more creamier. Like you can even look and tell. I poured these, and these are tubes. I did realize I like tubes. I do like pans already prepared, but I like these, pouring my own and then letting them sit and things. But these are creamier. Daniel Smith are creamier. They're more granulating now that I'm learning why I like a thing, right? So when you like some food, you know why you like the food. You like the food for the taste, the textures. Like some people don't like bananas because of the texture. They had to have tried the banana to know that they don't like the texture. You see what I'm saying? So some people do and some people don't. It all depends. Okay. And so right here, these are Daniel Smith, but this is what slapping paint on paper yesterday as I was going through YouTube and I came across the lady and she was talking about granulation and I was like, okay, I get it, but what is so deep? Like she had a whole 45-minute video talking about it. And when the way she went, I sat there and watched it, not one time, but two times. because I was trying to figure out, I was trying to see. And I figured instead of stopping, pausing, I was like, well, let me give her some watch time. Y'all know, because I'm learning about this watch time. So I gave her I watched it twice. And as she was doing what she was doing, I do flowers. She was doing something else. I answered a question for myself. It's like, why does my watercolors settle like they do? And it was because the ones I was using, this darker color, kind of, it's granulated. Like, and I mixed it and I put more water in it. The more water you put in it, the more it was, whatever. But the leaves really, like, it was fun. So for me, if you're in the art world and you're into this thing, it's kind of like, how can I describe it? When I learn something new that really benefits what I'm doing, I like it. Now, if I like, what's that thing? Color theory? I'm not excited about color theory at all. Color swatching? Color mixing. I'm not excited about color mixing either. However, between color theory and color swatching or color mixing, I would take color mixing. But most of the time, I only buy the watercolors that I like the colors anyway, so I don't need to mix. But I have been having fun. Remember, I told you I'll try something new, and it's okay. But when you do mix the colors, that a thing that I've learned like 3 years ago, you need to know what those colors consist of. So if we have two pretty raw colors, like these two and this one, not these two. Well, here, let's do these two. Yeah, green. You mix up green and yellow. And then if I don't get the green, so if I mix up green and yellow, I'm looking for more of an olivey color. And if I don't get that color and it gets a little different, the thing that I'm going to want to know is what's in the yellow, like what's the hues in the yellow, the different, whatever that word is. And then over here, same thing, because the green might be mixed with something else as well. Like this is a hooker's green. And this one is a something, Indian yellow hue. And I've learned when it says hue, you need to pay attention. Okay, all of that, what that means is nothing per se. If all you want to do is slap paint on paper, all you want to do is create, it doesn't matter. And that was me. But this granulation thing did something for my soul. Like even when you put it in, look at this. You see the different layers, like it's dark in there, it's light. That's the granulation. Like this literally was happening inside my palette that I, put it in. And I was just like, oh, and this is Daniel Smith right here. Daniel Smith. Yeah, it was Daniel Smith. I had to think about it. Was it? Yeah, it was. It was a yellow that was in here, and then I put a green on top of it. Hence, I got that color. So, and then this one over here. Where is this? Oh, no, it's not in there. Hold on. This is another one. Kind of, you can see it with the green. You see it more with the dark colors. And the paper. So the rougher the paper, the better it is, or what have you. So I'm going to get to slapping some paint on some paper. For sure. But here we go. This is my art book. And this, oh, you know what? This is a good one to show you, Grant. See, I went back into my art and was just like, because for me, I was trying to figure out what was the problem. And it's just like, OMG. Country internet. When you want it to be great, you can't be great. Okay. All right. Hopefully it looks like it's live again. Internet. The one I do pay for is like, I want to call them and tell them I pay you enough for. I shouldn't have streaming issues at any time during the day. Anytime I want to go, once I get on my my internet, it should work. But I don't know why it's acting crazy. It did great for the first time. But anyway, I digress. But so over here, I learned that so now with granulation, I just know that it's based on the paper that you use. This paper right here has this is rough. So it has a whole lot. And that's why it's kind of paused inside the water. Inside whatever the grooves were. And the more water I added, the worse it was getting. So that's why these flowers, I didn't like them. And I was trying to figure out what was the problem with them. Well, I got it now. So, yeah. And I put more, again, I was trying to undo what the little pockets was. So now that I've learned that the watercolors that I use, they're granulating. And that works for me. Like, let's go to the one I did. This one, no. Where is it? Oh, let's flip to the back. This one. I didn't worry about the paint going down. I just put it down and you can see like really, you can see the granulation real good in here. Like it, to me, it just kind of the water goes into the pockets of the paper. So when you have hot press water, and if I'm talking over your head when talking about these papers, don't worry about it. Let me make it plain. When you have a sheet of paper, like let's say printer paper is very, very smooth. Just think about pouring something on there and it's just going to kind of go across it. It's going to glide across it. That's how paint does. And then the rougher the paper is, then you have stuff that the water kind of pauses and it doesn't just glide across it. It kind of stops in the pockets along the way. That's what paint does. And so the rougher the paper, because on rough paper, it has pockets. Like, only thing I'm gonna do is show you. Just so, that's all. And we're gonna use Daniel Smith because I like Daniel Smith. I love Daniel Smith. So let's spray. It's Friday. I'm super excited. I made it through the week. It was a rough week, but I made it. Okay. Okay, you see where it's getting dark? Like, I don't like the way the light's shining on. Okay, there we go. Let's move that a little bit. This, you see, you literally see the separation of the paint. Like right up here. And then you add some more. Oh, see how it's breaking down there and separating? Let's see, I gotta. Sometimes I think this light does more. Oh, it's not that light. Oh, great. I think I'm going to eventually have to invest in light boxes. Because when I really want you to see something, okay, there we go. It looks, I didn't do anything except spread the water on the paper. And do it again. Let's get some more water and some more paint in my dab. And just watch. See? Not only as is it following the brush line, but you see how it's stopping in the mist? Those are the grooves in the paper. Like you can see, like, look right there. See the texture of the paper? It's not smooth. It has grooves in it. And up here, you can see how the paint, I got it real watery, but let's go and see how it kind of stops. And so for me, when I'm painting my flowers and my leaves, I was like, why isn't it filling in? I didn't understand why it wasn't filling in. And that's what it was. The paints are granulating, so they were separating. And it depends on, and so I don't know what color this is. I don't know what color that is, other than green. I don't have my, what do you call it? I don't have my, I guess I don't have one for this one at all. But let's see. So I have this paint set. And I can tell that those are granulating the way that they separate in there. Let's wake this one up. And let's get this one, which I can tell you what color it is if I lift it up. Let's get some more water. This one, not so much. So, and these are handmade watercolors. So I guess that's maybe something I need to check out and see if there's going to be a difference, because you see how this one blends in with the page. you can look at the difference of these two real quick. Like, you can see it. Like, check that out. Kind of, oh, this book is heavy. So, see here. And then right here, see how it's separated in the little pockets. But over here, it's nice and smooth. There's no separation. It looked like it's trying to do something now as it's drying. So, but it didn't stop in pockets. It didn't stop in the pockets. So that's the cool thing. So that's cool to me because it answered a question that I was trying to have. Well, I didn't really research it. Let me put it that way. I really didn't care. Long as I was having fun slapping paint on paper, that's all that mattered to me. Here we go. And if you're on Team Replay and you're watching this video, give me a thumbs up. That lets the algorithm know that, you are here, you are watching, and it caught your attention, kind of thing. And then if you see anything around as you peruse that you like, hit that subscribe button and that bell notification all so that you'll be notified when I do go live. Because today is Friday and I'm in the studio. Hey, Dawn, you made it back? Great, thank you. Now, Dawn, what do you know, like, what have you learned about granulating watercolors? I've ordered the new Holbein granulating watercolors, and I can't wait to get them. Like, Daniel Smith is my jam. But I figured out yesterday by watching a tutorial on YouTube, and the lady was talking about in one video I was watching for one thing, and she said something about granulation in it. And she referenced another video, and of course I went down the rabbit hole and I watched that video. Excuse me. And she answered my question as to about my own art, as to when I see how I just slapped these leaves down here, literally just slap the leaves down. And as I put them down, this time I'm not worried about it, but like normally before, this is what I would have done before. See how that is like that? I would have before yesterday, I would have went over it again because I was like, oh, that's not smooth enough, or that's just like kind of like, I didn't know. I thought maybe the watercolor ratio was, something. I didn't know. But now that she shared what she shared yesterday about the granulation and how the watercolors that are, if you get a tube of paint, and I'm not sure if I can read this one. I know where it is though. Let me see. We got a Daniel Smith. And let me get my glasses because y'all know life over 50 requires new vision. It requires new vision. I need to try it. I don't think I have any. It reminds me, I'm going to tell you what this reminds me of. It reminds me of the salt. The salt, y'all were putting salt in your artwork, and the way that it was activating and doing its thing, that's what the granulation, that's what it reminded me of. Okay, you get to see right here. You see how all of that is transpiring. That's Daniel Smith. These over here are, this is handmade watercolors. So it didn't do all of the thing. Now, for me, as a person who liked to draw my roses and my flowers, I wasn't liking that. And I wasn't, that's why I stopped using this book. I thought it was the book. Well, it wasn't the book. It was lack of knowledge. That was it, lack of knowledge. So the thing about these are handmade, all these are handmade watercolors. These are all dots and dust. And they have some granulating in them. Like, if you can literally see it in the pan, how it separates. Got a little yellow in there. And I don't remember what color that is. I could pull it up, but so 1, 2, 3, I think it was four to go together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The way I bought them from Dots and Dust. So, but the more this dries, the more I can appreciate the rest of this book. Because see right here, I wasn't liking that. I didn't like the way it separated. But now when I look back on it, I'm like, oh, the paints was just doing what they do. They were reacting to themselves, and doing what they were supposed to do. As the user error. It was user error. It was nothing else. Okay, so look on here, like on the back of this one, it has yellow, and then it has so it has two numbers. There we go. Two numbers there. And this one has two numbers. See how it has two numbers? So that means when I take this one is indigo. This is my growing palette. I poured it, so I'm waiting for them to, well, they all look like they did good. Oh, they're already hard. It's been a couple days, but I would have to get I don't want to use those. So let's take this. Oh, don't fall. It's my goal to, what do you call it? I want all of Daniel Smith because I love all their colors. Okay, let's take this. Let's just use this. And let's put it right there. Right there, right there, right there, right there. Be good. Oh, that's not enough water. Let's wake it up. Oh yeah, you can see that. That's a lot up there. Let's open, wet it up. That's my other problem with me and watercolor. I just be so scared to put all the water on it. But put the water on it. Slap it down. Just move it around. Let it go. Look at that. Look at that, how it's activating to this page and falling into the grooves, and wherever it falls in those grooves is where it's going to dry, and the more it dries, the more vibrant it's going to be. So what I've learned, that granulating watercolors are best for the people who like really, really, really like to do landscapes. Like my colors, my favorite colors for Daniel Smith are pinks, the pinks and the reds. And the pinks and the reds tend to not really have the granulation. Let's see if I can get one. But these Holbein, or the Holbeins that I'm getting, they are granulating. All of them are. All right, this is Opera Pink. See, Opera Pink only has PR 122. So 122. So it doesn't have two. So there's not two numbers on there. Potter's Pink only has one PR. So, and then Buff Titanium should be two. Nope, it's only one. Oh, it's 6-1. So not sure how that works out. But yeah, so this is what I learned yesterday, and I was just so happy about it. And it depends on the color. So the darker the color, we go into these greens. This one has blue green in it. You already know it's, what color is that? Turquoise. You already know that's a combined color. We did the indigo. So what that told me, like this one, has 15 and 7 in it, right? Okay, so back in the day, let's just say back before Karen really got into all the things, she was just liking slapping paint on paper. And when people were talking about the pigments, I was like, oh, okay, what's the pigment? And then they said what the pigment was. I was just like, oh, okay, no worries. But now it makes sense for when you really, really want that color, or when you really, really, really see something, you want to bring it to life, maybe. Maybe I guess I can say that. I've heard some blues granulate. Yes, okay, so that's the thing. Most of the blues, let's see, I wrote it down. Ultramarine blue, which is, we know, is probably going to. Cobalt blue, burnt umber, Viridian, and raw sienna. Those definitely are granulating watercolors, because when you mix them, when you think about the pigments, you know, they're already mixed. So, and then when you mix them with other, excuse me, other colors that are non-granulating ones, it works out too. And the other thing that Look at that. Oh my God, isn't that beautiful? Now for landscapes, that works, right? That works. But for me doing roses and doing my flowers and things, I wasn't very happy with the outcome of what it was doing. Like, oh, this is a good example. See, look at that. And I wasn't liking that. I did this on live, and I was talking about how it was just not settling into the paper right. But I learned why, because it liked to settle in the craters of the paper and make its own statement. Now, I put a lot of paint on there trying to keep this from looking like that. And so in the past, this is what I would have done. I would have went over it again trying to make it not look like that. But the more paint you put on it, the more granulations is going to, like, the more activation. Let's just say that. The more activation, the more it's going to do its thing, because that's what it's supposed to do. So if you don't want that look, like, see this here, it didn't do that. It did it a little, but not as much as these over here. This green, like that one, separated. Like literally, it's almost a whitewash right there. And then this one right here, you can see how dark it is in some places. That's where the paint separated and really dove in to the paper. So that was my yumminess, and that was life with granulation. So now what I wanted to do, because this will be the first time that I'm going to slap some paint on some paper with that in mind. Dawn, I really want to see that Coptic binding. I really want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. All right, we're going to use these Daniel Smiths because they're different colors. And I'm going to... Lily Rose, are you all right? All I hear is claws up there on my floor. And I'm going to start out with purple. And I'm going to spray the paper because that's going to make it even funner. And I have my big 12... big brush. I'm going to use the big one. Okay, Dawn, when you say Coptic, so I can make sure I'm understand, because there was another stitch that I was a little, somebody had Coptic stitching on it. So is it like this? The braided kind? Because there's Coptic stitching and the kettle stitching, and they look the same to me. They really do. They really do. But I haven't went down that rabbit hole. All right, let's put those right there. These are what we're using. I'm on Fabriano 140-pound watercolor paper, and I'm going to just really, just slap it down. Not really stress over it. But look at that. Oh, look how it's just, oh. Oh, that's fun. Look at that. Give it some pigment so we can really watch the growth of it. Oh, nice. Now, see, this right here, it didn't keep moving. It didn't keep moving. Okay, Dawn, I would love to see. See how it stayed? It's staying. Like, the granulation, you can see it, too. Like, it's in that water, and it's just, well, that's a lot of water right there. Let's kind of mop some of that up. Put it down here. And this is my version of a dahlia, something like that. Just don't stress over it. Just kind of slap it down. You do the rest of the stuff later. Okay. Oh, Lily's in there eating. I can't. She got to wait another hour before I can feed her, because then she can take her medicine. I think. Might have to feed her. When I googled how to do it, has a few names. Yeah, so that's what and it was a little confusing. So that's why I was excited to go tomorrow. So I was excited because it was an advanced bookbinding class that's being taught by one of the teachers that works at one of the schools here, and she's in the art. So I was real excited about that. But she has the flu, so we'll have to. There'll be a rescheduled date. Is this wet? No, let's wet that. Oh, look at that. Did you see that? Oh, yummy. Look how it's moving. Oh, that's yummy. Just kind of give it a little whatever, since that's as far as it's going. And then I'm going to let it dry and not even worry about whatever. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Can you see that right there? Let it focus. And see, on this Fabriano watercolor paper, you can see the what do you call them? The grooves in it. It's not smooth. It's rough. Well, it's not rough. It's not smooth and it's not rough, but it has a little indentions in it. So that makes it easier to handle, navigate, or whatever you want to call it. For me, I'm going to move this around because it's a lot of water sitting in the spot. But when that dries, you take your seed, just kind of pop some in and let it do its own thing. So 1, 2. Let's just put this over here like so. Let's just go with it. I knew the texture of paints, not the texture, but the pigment of the paints. I do know that I've learned that some of the colors for my flowers would be different, and it depended on what I used. That's why I guess I stuck to Daniel Smith for doing like commission pieces, because I knew how it was going to behave. And paint is just like children; it behaves differently sometimes. There we go. And we're gonna let that dry. And then we'll start with the leaves, because I don't want leaves to be going into it, because if I take it and wet it, then it'll blend together. But look at this. So this is what granulation looks like in the flesh. Literally. Literally. Let's let that focus. I'll take my glasses off because I can't see. Things are too close, I can't see. New vision. But you get to see like over there how the water reacts with the paper and the pigment and the separation that's happening. Now this one, I can't remember what color. Let's see. Let me pull so I can look and see. I'm not sure. That's not indigo. Is it moon glow? I don't think it's moon glow. It looks like it's one of these purple, in the purple family. I feel like I have some Daniel Smith somewhere else. I just really feel like this isn't it. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I know. There we go. Hold on. Where is my little thingy? That's where they are. I had these. There it is. It is quinacridone purple. So, because these are my little babies. I call these the babies of Daniel Smith, the 5 milliliter. And then these are the grown-ups. I like the grown-ups because I get to share and have more. But so let's see what's on here. It's right in the bin, so it's P. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So it's only one. It doesn't have two in here. It looks like it. It's right on the bin. Series 2. Okay, Series 2. But it's PV 55. I think I can see that. I'm not sure. I can't really see it. So that's that one. And but like I said, the greens and the other ones, the raw sienna, the burnt umber, yo, let's see, I got that in the palette. Oh, I needed some clean water because I'm going to change colors. Let's see, is that? Oh, what's this blue one? All these are series 2. Why are these? I didn't realize I got that many series 2. Hmm. Which means that. Oh well. Let's just use this one. How are we gonna do it? Don't think about it. Just slap it down. Boom. See, that's more in the red family, so the red is not probably gonna do as much as the greens. Like you said, you got the greens, the burnt umbers, the raw siennas, the ultramarines. I thought this blue, I could do this blue one in a minute. Let's see. Let's kind of make a little. It's not a lot of pigment, but we'll put a little bit more in there. It'll all come together in the end. For sure. For sure. Let's go over here. Need some clean water. Make sure it doesn't mess up. Let's see. Pull it out there. Let's see what this does, if it does it. Yep, there we go. This one looks like it has something. It's more white. It's pulling out white. Okay. Let's kind of pull this one right there. So y'all can see there's never no rhyme or reason as to how this gets done. It just gets done. You just slap paint down on the paper. Hence the channel. Slapping paint on paper. With a conversation or two. Depends on what day it is. Alright, so we got that one, that one. What color is this? I don't want iridescent. Nope. Let's pull out some greens now. What do we got in here? Okay, that was cerulean blue. That was quinacridone purple. And then that was quinacridone rose. So we're gonna use, no, that was genuine. That's what that was. So let's go in here and use, what kind of green is it? Sap green. I like sap green. I like to take sap green and mix it with hooker's green. Now that's a pretty combination. And you can see how that leaf is going to do it. And it pulls out and it has, let's see, what green was sap green? Yeah, and sap green has 3 in it, as a matter of fact. So that's going to granulate well. Like, you get to look at it and see how the separation, dark, light, and medium. So let's slap some more of that on here. Kind of bring it out of the pocket. I kind of like to make my leaves kind of pop out through things. So it works out. But my water is red, so I really need to get me some clean water. Where's the container? Save all your little jars. It's great for water. And And I keep a big bucket of water so I don't have to be running in and out. That would be something great to have a sink in my studio. That will work out good. Connect those two. So look at the darkness, the lightness, and the medium. So you got medium. So and that's the thing when I was looking at it for the when she was talking about the granulation, and I was just like, okay, what does it have to do with the end result? And that's what she said. She said, think about what you want your project to look like. And that was when she got me hooked. And I was just like, okay, now let me think about that. Let me look at what you're talking about. And so she was painting something different. So I really had to, this is the first time I really get to I sat down and doing it from beginning to end, like literally checking it out. But that's it. I want it to look not so. So the paper, let me back it up. So the paper that I use and using Daniel Smith explains the colors that I use, explains this separation. Now, if I don't want it to look like that, then I would have to use heavier paper or not even the hot press because I don't like hot press, but I might need to think about looking at it from that standpoint if I'm going to use Daniel Smith. Because why? Daniel Smith is most of them are they're granulating watercolors. So that's why I learned that it does make a difference at what the outcome is going to be. Like right here, you can already see how this is separating, like it's dark, and then how it started separating just from me putting it on. Even with these flowers, they're the same. Now, that's not a problem. What I would have to do to fix it if I don't like the look of it, I would have to wait till they dry, and then I would have to go back in on top of them, either with the same color or with a darker color. So like she said, when she said, think about what you want the end result to be, I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. And that's what I want my end results. I want them to be like, oh, Lord, don't fall. What are you on that you want to fall? I can't even say this one is because this is a Daniel Smith. But whatever watercolor this one is, it's granulating too. Because anytime I go over and over, and I can tell when I've done that, I'm going over it because I don't want it to have like, this is very whitewash. But it was not meant to be that way. So it works out. But it's fun now. So I guess you can say when I was saying earlier, I don't need to learn a whole bunch of rules because all I'm going to do is just break them because you just want to have fun. And when you're having fun and you're not concentrating on all of that, you don't worry about it. It's like just paint. Just have fun. And, when you're doing whatever you're doing, just have fun. And then that makes it better. So for these, we got a bouquet. This one kind of going in. That one's going out. That one's going out. That one's kind of sitting. These two are sitting kind of up. This one's kind of sitting up. But you can look at how that water, you can tell. You literally can see the separation. And if that's not what you want, then it's not that it's wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Some people like the looks of the flowers, and it's okay. But for whatever your outcome, and for my outcome, I have a certain look that I kind of want, and that's just all it is. That means I'll have to come back in possibly and go through the flower, go over the flower again once it's dried. That's all. And like she had said on there, if you put more, I learned that you put more, the more pigment you put on there, the more the granulation is going to sit together. It's going to sit together. So see right there, it's going to be right there together. So that's going to be darker. Where over here, it's lighter. Thank you. Oh, I saw you got pizza bites on in between me switching my from live to live. So that's how that works out. And now I like that look. So if you ask me, it's like, well, Karen, you don't like these? I like those, but I like that look. So the more, that means I'll be putting in not a lot of water. I'll be putting in a lot of pigment. So we want this to pop out here. We're gonna bring that out and kind of let that come through there and let that pop out, which it works out because you can, then it looks like it's got different colors. And we're on the same color. I have not changed colors at all. Still on, what was it? Hooker's green, sap green. Now, check this out. We're going to add a little bit. I'm going to do this in here. We're going to just whitewash it. And whitewashing, you just add more water, no pigment, right? So we're going to take that, and then I'm going to go, let's see, let's just slap it right here. Pull some leaves in there. See the difference? But what you can see even more in here is the granulation here. You already see it. So when that dries, it's going to dry more pronounced in the grooves. Each one of those the water has stopped in a groove. I thought that was amazing. But again, I get excited about art. Now, if, let's say, pull this one, just kind of right there a little bit, pull it out. You know how bouquets look. You don't get all of the bouquet. You got to pull some stuff out of the back side. So we're going to pull that out of there and kind of add a little bit in there to make that more. But there we go. And as we going and as I'm slapping this paint down, we're just bringing it together. This is the base of this flower. And we're going to kind of pull that there, kind of stick one there, just, kind of, there's no right or wrong way. You get to do it however you want. It's yours. Do what you want. For me, I don't worry about all the stuff. Even though I've learned about granulation, if I want to go back and go over this one, even though that's pretty great, it's a separation is great. I didn't even have to put that down the middle. But if I don't like it, I can go over it. But I like that one. I like that one. So now it has caused me to really look at my artwork as I'm going on and know from the granulation it's activating. So it's one of those, it's the wonderful thing of pigment properties, I guess you can say, right? Some pigments are naturally more granulating due to their larger particles. This green is more granulating due to, for one, it has three. I think the sap green had three. And a lot of the ultramarine, they have more. And remember the paper texture. So that's why granulation happens. It is because of the pigment properties and the paper texture. Oh, and the water usage. The water usage, right? And sometimes when you mix in, so let's see. I don't have any other green. I was going to look. I got this one right here. So let's see how this works. That's some kind of green that was in there. It probably ain't gonna give me a whole lot of mixture. I'm probably gonna have to put in, what is this one? Is this a green? It's a form of green, Viridian. Let's see. Let's do it. Let's do it. I need to get rid of, I don't throw these away until all paint is gone. Even in the cap. Okay, see how that mixed up? Like you can still see that. It's separated as well. So when you mix the watercolors together, this is yellow. See how that yellow popped out? That yellow popped out, right? Like you can see yellowish in there. So let's drop it. Let's pull down there. Let's stick that green. And you can see the comparison of the colors next to each other. Look at that. Oh my God. Isn't that yummy? Isn't that yummy? Look at that. Hello, hello. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm sorry, I get excited. I get all engulfed in what I'm doing, and I forget that there's people that pops on. Welcome to the studio. I am Karen McCoy. I'm having fun over here with granulation. I learned something new. I expounded on the learning, put it this way, because when I first started doing art, I wasn't concerned. Let's put it that way. And so now that my artwork is coming out and doing some stuff, I wasn't trying to learn yesterday either. Let's put it that way. Oh, and y'all, I learned something else about YouTube. A video will be coming on that, but I learned something about YouTube. Man, let me tell you, that watch time is very important. It's very important. You're gonna support people on YouTube. Give them some watch time. That's why when I was watching the young lady's video yesterday, I watched it and I was just like, oh man, I had some questions kinda. I watched it again. I didn't pause it. I just watched it again to give her some watch time. Whether she needed it or not, I'm getting in the habit of spending time watching and getting engaging more so. When it's a replay, it's a little different because you can stop and pause and do all things. But when you have a live, you want, the watch time is important. And what I learned about YouTube with the watch time is that it doesn't go based on calendar year for watch time. It goes on where you start. Like today goes back and yeah, I had to cover that up. I like that green popping. Look how that green pops out that page. But yeah, I did a video to basically you showing my desktop and explaining it because I was blown away. Because I was trying to figure out why my watch time overall was like I felt like it had gotten more, but then I felt like some days was not. Well, each day you go forward in the world, it's a moving target. And I was like, YouTube, no, you didn't. So it's important. Again, when Karen wants to learn something, she'll learn it. When she don't want to, it doesn't interest me. It's what I've always told my husband. When you want something done, you do it. And you don't do it. So that's the same thing with me. When I want to learn something new, I learn it. And when I don't, I don't. I kind of like this combination here, but I needed it a little bit more pigmented. But this is what I was finna say. When I took the green and I mixed it with this one, it's giving me more yellow. So one of the numbers must be that's in here must go to yellow. Now I'm going to have to go deep down the water hole in Daniel Smith so I can know what colors to mix because some colors maybe are not going to give me what I want. So right now if I wanted my leaves to be deep dark green, those two colors that I just mixed wouldn't be the two colors. See how light that is? See, it's okay. It fits on the page good. But what it tells me is I need to get a little bit of green. And I need to slide through there and just kind of pop some green in there. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. And then it takes away from it kind of looking like it's alone right there. Gives it a little bit, for me. Now you do get to do what you want to do for your own thing. All right, team replay. At this point in time, if you're watching, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you would subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification for all so that when I do go live, you'll be notified what it is. And then you get to see when you're notified if I'm talking about watercolor or if I'm talking about crafting, you get to decide if you want to join or not because I can't say my page is multifaceted. I'm multifaceted and I try to stay either with the dogs or with the crafting. And you're always going to get a conversation either way. All right. There we go. Let's get that and put some more of that. Yep, the more I add of that sap green, that yellow. So I'm betting you if I go and dig deep into sap green's history, sap green is going to be my non-mixing color with certain paints, certain ones. Okay, we're just going to kind of slap some leaves up in here. No worries. Just want to put something in there. No worries. But look how that has come together. Just so cute. All right. Clean my brush. Make sure it's clean because I don't like to leave it sitting in water, but I've messed up some brushes by leaving it sitting in some water. Okay. Now, this is the part that is magic for me. Magic. When I say magic, I mean magic. All right, I'm going to get a lot of pigment. A lot of it. Oh, Lord, Lily's snoring loud. Y'all hear that? Yeah, it's right outside my studio, just at the studio door. All right. Now this one over here, when I kind of did, I just did plop, 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 and plop it down. Now we're going to give it a little bit more definition because it's supposed to be a peony. Now we're not going to go all over all of it. We're just going to kind of hit and miss, so that it can get a little bit of form. And then the granulation is already started to kind of activate. But what you don't want to do is try to undo what's up under there, because that gives it, look at that. OMG. That's just so beautiful. It's like I grew it in the garden myself. It's just popping off the page. Look at the inside. And here, this one is darker. So I'm kind of just going to go around a little bit, just kind of around, to kind of bring it in. Yummy. That's yummy. That's yummy. I love, 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 love. And, oh, wrong thing. Look at that. I feel like I need to bring this one together a little more, which means I got to get some more pigment because we want it to be very, very pronounced. But I don't want to cover it up. That was a little watery. There we go. Let it come through. Come through. Come through. There we go. That is so beautiful. Now, this one was a peony. These were peonies. That was a rose. That's a peony. And this was my version of a hydrangea because I just slapped the water down. Now, if I want this one to be a little, let's just see. Oh, that was a lot. Oh, that still was a lot. Oh, hold on. I gotta. Oh, I've got something in it too. I have all these mixing dishes. Thank you, Dawn. But you just kind of go around. Oh, that's what I was doing. Taking some, it was too much on the brush. But mix up a whole lot so it can be a whole lot. Even in the mixing, you can see it separating. The pinks in there. Looks like some red. Like the way it's separating. But just come around and just kind of pick some of that up. Oh, Lily, she getting her sleep on. Oh, I drug it. I didn't mean to do that. But and you can also get bubble wrap. Like I could have got some bubble wrap, put some watercolor on the bubble wrap and just blotted it down and would have made its own little thing. There's plenty of ways to make hydrangeas. I've learned that I love hydrangeas. I mostly paint flowers that I love. I love all flowers, but the rose was challenging to me. So I wanted to challenge myself to learn it. So there we go. That's all we're going to do with that. We're not going to stress over it. We're going to let that dry because you can see the wet on dry. Great technique. I like this one. I'm not going to bother this one. I love that one. I don't want to do anything with that one. And I kind of like this one too. But I'm going to kind of do a little bit with the center. And I don't have any. Oh, yeah, I do. I got that one. Kind of. Yeah. Just pop it down in the center. Because it's though it had opened up. This side and this is this side laying over. And this is the center. Same for this one. It's more open. And listen, now that I've learned about the granulation, I'm letting it do its thing. I'm not controlling it. So once again, slapping paint on paper, we are learning to just be. Don't worry about all of the other thing. And if it works for you, let it work. Like I've just learned that a lot of things it works for me. A lot of things I want to try, and some things I don't want to try. And when it comes down to a finished project, this isn't even finished. I'm not going to say it's finished because I want it to dry, and then I'm going to come in one more time across, maybe, I don't know, I maybe and maybe not, because I'm liking this. But I had to learn something new to embrace this picture, because in the past I would not have liked the outcome, because I would have wanted my flowers to be smoother, have more depth, I guess you could say. Like I wouldn't have liked all of the white space, I guess. I don't know how to say it, but right here where it's done its own thing. It's kind of taken its own. It's like I slapped it down and it was like, all right, back up, let me do my thing. And that's what it's done. So it's settled right there where you got nice vibrant color, and then the rest of it kind of went and just nice, and it's a nice whitewash. Even right here where I just set these, I am not happy with the fact that that looks like I don't know, it looks like a mess to me. But let me turn it upside down. Yeah. See, I would spend time trying to correct that. When it actually, now when I turned it upside down, it looks like a petal. Like when you think of a flower, like I'm not taking my flower out of the vase, but there's a flower in the vase right now in my bouquet of flowers, and it has the petal. You got the long petal, and then you got that little baby petal, and that's what it is. So looking at it from that standpoint, it makes you love the picture more. Makes me love the picture more, and makes me not critique it more, because that is what I would do. I would critique myself and be like, by now, if I, before I learned about how granulation worked, I would have just pulled this off and started over. And it would have been something that I would have talked to y'all about on the live. Be like, yeah, that one didn't make it. When in fact, it did make it. Now, I think I like this one. I like the way this is. I like this being the top and this being the bottom. Sometimes you don't have to worry about the top and the bottom, the left or the right. Like, let's turn it to the right. Until you want to put it in a frame, or until I want to, no, not you. Well, I don't, if somebody bought this and they said they want a frame, I'd ask what color and all of the things. And then I didn't put tape around this so this would have to be in a bigger frame, because this paper is 9 by 12. I think it's 9 by 12. Yeah, 9 by 12. So then it would need to be in a bigger frame so that you get all of this beauty. Like you want all of this yumminess. And like right here, I couldn't have done this. Like you see up under there, it looks like shadows of, like if this is a hydrangea, the little hydrangeas, it looks like they're little baby hydrangeas in the shadow. I couldn't have did that. But what I would have did before yesterday is try to etch them out. Be like, oh, I don't like that. But right now I'm embracing it. It's growing on me, and it needs to dry a little more. But there we go. We got hydrangeas, a rose, open hydrangea, opening hydrangea, closed hydrangea. And this one is kind of opening, with this one being over like the bottom. So you got the hydrangea like this, like if you're looking at it from the bottom, and then there's that center, and the same with that one over there. So there you go. I really, 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 really hope. If you got any questions, if you're on Team Replay, or if you're on the live and you have any questions about granulation, and how granulation can enhance your project of whatever you're doing, you know, let me know. Ask me a question. I'm learning, and I went deep down the rabbit hole yesterday. I went way down it, so much so that I could explain it from the knowledge of I had to do it so I can explain it. So as I was looking at it and doing the, I did this one yesterday. That's why I said when I did this, I was just like, oh, I get it. Look at it. Like I was like, okay, I can do that. I think somebody else needs to learn granulation, and so here I am. But it explained. Look at the paper. Look at it. It explained a whole lot why this right here didn't just, there was a lot of paint on the brush. Why it didn't. It just slid around and went where it wanted to go. And that's what I get. So, where's another one? Did I do another one yesterday? Nope. But this one, let's go on the other side. Where is it on the other side? Oh, where'd you go? Oh, yeah, I did do another one. Here it is. This one. Again, I had to stop myself from trying to correct what I thought was wrong. It wasn't wrong, it was right. And so now on my roses, they're going to be a little bit more like that and let the paint do the work. I don't have to do the work. Like so much so, you can literally take, let's take this off because this is a done. Yeah, as it's drying. But you can literally take your brush. Well, you literally can take, and let's go back in there with those purples. Those purples. There we go. Put a little bit more water in it. And a little bit more. Where's the water? I gotta turn to the side to see where the water is. You don't have to try to figure it out. If you've never done art before in your life, this is a nice way to draw and see how it's finishing it off. But when I put too much in there, like I said, it was user error, y'all. It was user error. Look at that. Just spray the paper on there and just putting it wherever the water is. And don't stress over it. Now I go deeper with this in my Patreon group because we really get to sit and have a conversation, talk about it. And there we go. Oh, I don't like sharp edges. Oh, stop being sharp. There we go. There we go. All right. But look how that is just waking up. It's just like saying, hey, look at. And the more, remember, if you want it vibrant, more vibrant, just don't put a lot of water. I just used a lot of water on that because I wanted you to see how it do its own thing. So then when I go in and get some more pigment, look what happens. Look at the pigment. It's doing the same thing. And so it's creating its own petals. And as long as it's wet, it's going to move. I hear Lauren. She came back. Guess she got tired of being out in that field. Okay. And then once it dries, then you do a little manipulation if you want. If you want. But if you don't want to, then look, you have a beautiful rose. And because I like to be a little bit more detailed, I'll come back to it once it dries. But other than that, I like the vibrancy, but I like the fact that it took out on its own. Like it did its own thing. And so this one is dry on the outside, so we can come and just kind of go in. And wherever you want it to be its most vibrant, you put more pigment. With no water, just more pigment. And you just keep going around and around till you don't want to no more. Because I like what's in the center, so I'm not going to bother the center. Boom. There we go. There we go. That was fun. Now, I'll finish this one later, but I thought I just wanted to share. I just had to pop on here. Well, I didn't pop on here. I've been on here because I was on here with the dogs, outside with the dogs. Oh, and the more I sit up here and look at this is so yummy. This is so pretty. Let's put this up here. And this one is drying. You can see how it's granulating right here. And on here, that one, I'm going to research and find out what colors are in this one, which was, where is my, I thought I kept the tube out because I want to look at it and figure out what it is. What colors are in there? And I guess that's where it is because like she said, it's good to know what color. It's quinacridone purple. But what did I do with the tube? The information is on the tube. Oh, Lord. I'll find it. And that's what happens when your desk is too clean. It's too clean. Is it this? No. No. Quinacridone. Oh, there it is right there in my face. Duh. So we're gonna go through these and see what colors are in it. So that way you can see how it's granulating. And how the white, it just sits there. It just went into the paint. This is settling over here. And you can see the granulations over there, like it really, really reacting. And you saw from in the center when I put it on and how it reacted to the water, which gives it its own little thing. It's, again, it looks like it did its own design. This one, if you don't like it looking like that, or if you do, then you got a rose. This one might be a little bit more, what do they call that? Tie-dye-ish, because that looked like you took tie-dye because I put the colors on top, but then it still started doing its own thing. Look at that. So this is why granulation, I think, works beautifully in landscaping, because you want this in landscaping. And my flowers, not so much. But what I have to do is not use so much water and use more pigment. That's what my takeaway is for doing my flowers. Pretty much. And then if I want to enhance my flowers, then I can always come back after the piece dries. Then I come back and then I go over it to make it look like this peony is like over this way, where you can see the bottom. You know how they fall over and you can see? That's what that kind of looks like. And that's supposed to be the bottom and that's the side. Same. And so you can turn this one many different ways. I am loving this cerulean blue. I love cerulean blue. And look how, that's why I didn't do anything to this, because you see how the white, it's separated and the white is just popping out? Like, it's beautiful. Like, I'm talking about in the paint. It's separated from the paint. I put water all over that. And so, but that's how it's separated. So that's my yumminess for it. Oh, so yummy, so yummy. So that's what we got. That's what we got. That's what we got. That's what we got. That's what we've been doing. So, hey guys, listen, when you find something that brings you joy, like slapping paint on paper brings me, I had fun yesterday learning. Now I'm going to do a thing where I'm going to go through all of my watercolors, and I'm going to, not so much as go through them all, but I'm going to go through a couple of them. Like, we got PWC, and I have A Gallo. These are handmade. These aren't handmade, but these are handmade. And I think just looking at this, my swatch card, looking at this, there we go. I can tell that these are not, they look like they're not granulated, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And these are series 2, so I'm almost certain that they're not, because granulation will show up on paper. And this one, I don't have a swatch card in it, but let's see. It is series, that has one. Like, what is this one? This has one. Yeah, so I'll go through them, but I'll go through them. And then that way I can come back. I'll do a video, or either I'll come on live and I will do a swatch test to see how, if it is granulating, how it reacts. But when I do get them Holbeins in, you definitely can believe I am definitely going to come in and I'll probably do a recording. I'll probably record that. And because I want it to be fancy and pretty so that I don't spend time talking, and I'll just spend time talking more about the granulation of the watercolors, because I've seen these online already for people who have them. And when I tell you these things are yummy, oh, can't wait. As they say, mwah. Um, so I'm excited about that. But the Daniel Smith, the different colors, I'm going to go, because you can even see now that this is dried, you can see the granulation, how it's affected right here. Just that simple. I thought, again, it was user error. I thought it was the fact that I put too much water on it. Well, it was. I put too much water. And for the granulation to really, really, really do its thing, put a little bit, not as much. And hence, you get to see what the result. That is the vibrant purple around, and some granulation literally right there in the center. That's just right in a cup. So you know how it is on the paper, but I am going to find me some rough paper, because this other paper is 100% cotton, and it's not rough enough. And they say granulation works its best magic. The rougher the paper, the more beautiful the granulation. So my Fabriano paper is 25. This pad that I did these on, it's 25% cotton, but it still turned out great. Like, you still could see the granulation, and now that it's drying, you can really see how that is really, really turning out. And it's just like it really comes to life right before your eyes. So I enjoyed that. But I'm going to get off of here. And I will probably be in the studio tomorrow because I'll be home. Or I'll be doing some video and doing some editing. I did that last night. So I have some videos already scheduled to go live. To go live. And for Monday and Wednesday, we are in, is this not the last week? Is it the last week? No, we got one more week. I'm trying to rush. We have one more week in February, but going into March on Mondays and Wednesdays, we are talking about vulnerability, transparency, so you can be your best authentic self. And you can't show up and be the best you if you haven't really embraced everything about you, the good, bad, and indifferent. And that's where, remember, I gave y'all if you look at some of the videos, I'll link a video to the live after I'm done with the live and it's done processing. Then for the people on replay, you'll get to see this video that's linked above, or in the description box below. It depends on how I do it. And you get to, listen to the conversation about, are you vulnerable enough? Are you willing to be vulnerable? And if you're saying, no, I don't want to be vulnerable, then that's okay too, because it's a choice. You get to decide what you want to do. All right, guys, I'm going to pop off here. And remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so that when I do go live, you'll be notified. Oh, and I keep forgetting. I don't think I put the link. I'm having a webinar, a free webinar, which is kind of like what I do here. It's kind of what I did today, but it's going to go deeper. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it on Zoom or if I'm going to do it on YouTube, how I'm going to do it. I think I want to do it on Zoom. It depends on how many people register. If it be too many, then I'll do it on Zoom. But if it's enough that we can, do it on YouTube. But if it's enough that we can get on Zoom and it not get out of hand, because I want people to ask questions about art, crafting, making things, or how did I come to do all of the things. It'll be the time that I'll be doing that. So register for that. It's I know the link is not in this description box, but the video that I'm going to link, it is in that description box, and I will link it below too, because you have to register so that way I send you the link for however I decide to do it. And that way you can hang out and you get to find out all the things, because I'm very vulnerable. As my children say, don't do nothing around mama, because she's going to talk about it on her platform, and because I want somebody else to know, hey, if I'm going through it, if I've gone through it, then it might be something that something that I can say that can help you go through it, get through it, and show up one day in your authentic self, smiling without trying to fake it. I've done that enough in my life and I don't want to do it no more. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out. For all of those who joined the channel when I was outside with the dogs, I'll link that video below too, because we had all the dogs. And for the people that are in the snow, you get to enjoy my beautiful day. Hey girl, how are you? But yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm going to get off of here. So for Team Replay, again, thank you for showing up, because without you, I wouldn't have watch time either. And we're out here trying to get the 3,000, the 4,000 watch times. And I'm going to share that video that I did with the new information of what I learned. Everything that I'm learning about this YouTube, I'm more than willing and happy to share with you. Because a lot of people maybe don't want to read all the things. I'm one of them people. I don't have time. I am not a C personality. I don't want to take time to read all the things. I skim through, be like, okay, I can do this, and this. Just like I just learned something else about YouTube. You're gonna learn that when I upload that video. It's already uploaded. I just haven't made it public. All right, guys. Again, thank you. If you wasn't here, I'd be talking to myself. But y'all know I will do it. Why? Because it's for me first, then for you. Have a good day, guys. See you later.